All of us, irrespective of our racial or ethnic or heritage or national origin, aren't always fortunate enough to have ready and direct access to our family histories. Nearly 90% of all peoples of African descent living in the United States at the time of emancipation were, in fact, enslaved people. And that is a real challenge. However, what we know is that records do exist. Genealogy matters. We know that it's incredibly important to understand how we as human beings are personally and over time collectively linked through our family histories.
I had never considered researching my family because, we all knew that as African Americans, the records are spotty. There's this thing called slavery that kind of gets in the way of, going down any serious rabbit holes. So once I started up, on the digital side and on my ancestry account, I realized, that there was a ton of stuff out there that I didn't have access to. So that was sort of the big impetus for this trip, was to just break out of the digital space and just go down there and see if I could find documents that hadn't been digitized. So one of the resources for that obviously was the public libraries. And the one in Spartanburg specifically said, if you're coming here to do research, contact us in advance and we will pull material for you before you get here. And that was the most astonishing thing, to arrive there and have one of the librarians in the local history room already have a full table laid out with books and, computer printouts and all this stuff. It dropped my jaw when we walked up to it, and she starts to, show us what she's found. There was so much that was lost, wasn't lost, it was just kind of buried, and I want to make sure that it doesn't get buried again, so that, future generations, I hope that they continue to pass it on.
The most important thing is to begin, knowing that it is a journey, that when you're beginning, it's a journey, it's a first step. I'm really proud of the fact that we have professional researchers and genealogists that every single day we are open to the public. We are also availing them to the public. We have specially trained volunteers that work with individuals to help them on that first step. Every weekday that we're open, we provide twice daily introductions to genealogy to provide folks with a primer of not only the resources that are available within the center on site, but also what are some of those opportunities to explore beyond the walls of the museum.
To know that I came from such humble beginnings and ended up as a college professor and journalist. My mother was an educator, my uncle became a cardiologist. Who would have imagined that any of that would have happened, in a couple of short generations. It just taught me, about the resilience and this whole, the American dream. It exists in a number of ways, and we're a testimony to that.